Okay, good morning. Today I will discuss Chapter 5 entitled Partnership Liquidation. So, let's discuss kung ano ba ang liquidation. So, last time, Chapter 4 is about dissolution. At kung natatandaan nyo, yung dissolution, ito yung kapag may changes sa partnership, may nadagdag or nabawas na partner, yun yung partnership. Pero itong liquidation, ito na yung winding up ng business. Ibig sabihin, mawawala na talaga yung partnership. So, in winding up the business, you need to sell yung mga non-cash assets, you need to settle all of the liabilities, and you need to distribute the remaining cash to the partners. So, ito yung difference niya sa dissolution. So, kapag nabanggit dito yung word na realization, it means i-convert mo na ngayon yung non-cash assets into cash. So, dahil nga i-convert mo siya into cash, pwede kang mag-result to gain or loss to realization. And kung ano man yung result niya, gain or loss man siya, it should be divided to the partners. Yan. So, minsan, dun sa pagdi-divide mo ng um, gain or loss dun sa or ng loss sa partners, minsan nagkakaroon siya ng loss on realization na nagli-lead into capital deficiency. So ibig sabihin, yung existing capital ng isang partner, um, hindi nako-cover yung loss na madi-divide dun sa partner. So, let's discuss kung ano ba yung mga unang-una mong isa-settle kapag nagkakaroon ng liquidation. So, kung natatandaan nyo, yung asset ng partnership ay pwedeng partnership ng property or pwedeng magkaroon ng additional contribution ng partners para masettle lahat ng liabilities na pinagkakautangan ng partnership. So, ano ang una nating babayaran kapag mag-liquidate? So, una, bayaran muna natin yung mga outside creditors. Ibig sabihin, yung lahat ng pinagkakautangan ng partnership, kailangan isettle mo muna lahat yon. Next one, after mo bayaran yung mga outside creditors, bayaran mo naman ngayon yung mga inside creditors. Sino yung mga inside creditors na to? Possible kasi na may utang si partnership sa isa sa mga partner. So, yun. So, yun yung pangalawa mong babayaran. Third, kailangan mong ibalik yung mga capital contributions ng partner. And last, kung kunwari, nabayaran mo na yung mga outside creditors, nabayaran mo na yung mga inside creditors, naibalik mo na yung mga capital contributions. Last, at may naiwan pang pera, anong gagawin mo doon? I-distribute mo naman yon sa mga partners based sa share nila sa profits. Okay? So, let's try to answer this illustration. So, WA, BO, and EG are partners in a prawn export business. Initially, WA contributed 300,000, 200,000, and 100,000. So, si WA 300, BO 200, and EG 100,000. On the date of the dissolution, or liquidation to dapat. On the date of liquidation, the remaining assets of the partnership amounted to 1 million. So, meron pa daw silang remaining asset na 1 million. The partnership has outstanding obligations with PA na 140,000, with PT na 100,000, and may loans payable kay WA na 40,000. So, paano natin ngayon isa-settle yung mga obligations na to? First, as discussed kanina, ang una nating isa-settle ay yung mga outside creditors. So, sino ang outside creditors dito? Si AP at si PT. So, si AP at PT, dahil outside creditors sila, they should be paid the total sum of 240,000. 140 kay AP, 100,000 kay PT. So, after paying them 240,000 sa 1 million na asset ng partnership, may maiiwan na lang na 760,000 pesos. So, 1 million minus 140 and 100,000. So, that will be 760,000 pesos. Okay? So, dahil may naiwan pang 760,000 pesos, sino yung second priority? Second priority is the inside creditor. So, ang inside creditor, yung mga partners lang din, si WA, si BO, at si EG. Pero this time, si partnership, meron siyang loans payable kay WA na 40,000. So, babayaran mo muna siya dahil isa siyang inside creditor. So, 40,000. So, 760,000 kanina, babayaran mo ng 40, si WA may maiiwan pang 720,000 pesos. Next, third priority, kailangan mong ibalik yung capital contributions ng mga partner. Based dito sa problem, nag-contribute si WA ng 300, nag-contribute si BO ng 200, at si EG ng 100. So, 720 minus 300 minus 200 minus 100. So, may iwan pa na 120,000 pesos. So, fourth, kapag may naiwan pa daw na balance after paying number 1, 2, and 3, i-distribute mo yung naiwan sa mga partners based on their ratio or capital contributions kung walang ratio. So, dahil wala ngang agreement sa division of profit or losses, so WA shall be entitled 3/6 kasi 3 is to 2 is to 1 yan. Kasi 300, 200, 100. So, 3 over 6 is 120. 3 over 6 of 120 ay 60,000. 2 over 6 of 120 is 40. And 1 over 6 of 120 is 20,000 pesos. So, yon. So, makikita natin dito sa problem na first, binayaran muna niya yung pinagkakautangan outside the partnership. Second, binayaran muna niya yung um, inside creditor who are the partners. And third is, binayaran muna niya yung mga capital contributions. At kung may natira pa, pinaghati-hatian siya ng mga partners based, syempre, dun sa profit distribution, profit or loss distribution. Pero in this case, dahil wala silang profit and loss distribution, ginamit niya yung capital contribution. So, ayan. Paano naman kung um, insufficient yung partnership asset? For example, um, ang obligation niya ay 1,120,000. Eh, di ba kanina, ang utang niya ay 140, 140. Pero this time, ang 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 utang niya daw dito ay 120 at ang partnership assets niya lang ay 1 million. 1,120,000 ang utang niya, 1 million ang asset niya. So, there will be an insufficient balance or cash to fully settle these liabilities. So, there will be an unpaid balance of 120. Ano ang gagawin ng partnership? So, kapag ganitong case na kulang ang asset mo to pay the liabilities, the partners should contribute sufficient assets to cover the deficiency or loss. So, paghahati-hatian ng mga partners yung 120,000. Ngayon, kung wala pa ring agreement sa profit or loss distribution, kasi yun yung gagamitin mong ratio, gagamitin mo ulit yung capital contribution na ratio, parang kanina dun sa problem natin. So, as a result, kailangan nilang magbigay ng additional contribution from their separate properties in the amount of 60,000 kay WA, 40,000 kay BO, and 20,000 kay EG. So these contributions will be used to settle the remaining liabilities of 120,000. Yan. At magiging part na siya ng partnership assets. Okay, next. So, the creditors of the partnership shall have priority in payments over those of the partner's separate creditors as regards to the partnership properties. On the other hand, the creditors of the partners are preferred with respect to the separate or personal properties of the partners. So, ito yung distribution of separate properties of an insolvent partner. Anong ibig sabihin ng insolvent partner? Ibig sabihin, wala siyang kakayahang magbayad ng utang. So, kapag ang isang partner ay insolvent, eto yung personal properties niya. Siyempre, dahil insolvent siya, may possibility na pati yung personal properties niya ay kailangan niyang i-contribute sa partnership. Pero, ang kailangan daw ni insolvent partner, dapat daw i-prioritize muna niya yung personal na utang niya. Kailangan as a partner, bayaran mo muna yung mga personal na utang mo. Kapag nabayaran mo yung personal na pinagkakautangan mo, saka ka pwedeng magbayad sa mga partnership creditors using your personal properties. So, ipaprioritize mo pa din yung mga personal creditors mo bago ka magdagdag ng additional contribution doon sa partnership. Yan. And lastly, those owing to the partners by way of additional contributions when the assets of the partnership were insufficient to settle all obligations. Okay, let's discuss this illustration. So, assuming that because of the total partnership liabilities amounting to 1.2, EG is still personally liable to partnership creditors in the amount of 20,000. Ngayon, meron siyang separate personal property amounting to 90,000 and personal liabilities amounting to 80,000. So, yung personal property niya na 90,000, kailangan muna niyang gamitin yon to settle her personal liabilities of 80,000. Babayaran niya muna yan. And the excess na 10,000, ito lang ang pwede niyang gawing additional contribution to the partnership. So, yun yung rule kapag ang isang partner ay insolvent. Okay. So, there are two types of methods of partnership liquidation. First is the lump sum method, and the second is the installment method. So, let's discuss first the lump sum method. So, under this method, all non-cash assets are realized. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng non-cash assets mo ay ibibenta mo, and the related gains or losses should be distributed, at lahat ng liabilities mo ay babayaran. Yan. Gamit ang bago ka makapagbayad ng distribution, cash distribution to the partners. So, lahat yan, minsanan, lump sum talaga. Pag sinabi namang installment, realization of non-cash assets is accomplished over an extended period of time. So, hindi siya minsanang pagbebenta ng asset. So, when cash is available, creditors may be partially or program of safe payments or cash priority program. Babayaran siya pero partially lang yung mga creditors. This process persists until all the non-cash assets are sold. So, unti-untihing bayaran yung mga creditors. Unlike si lump sum na minsanan ang pagbebenta ng non-cash asset, at the same time, minsanan mo ring babayaran yung mga pinagkakautangan mo. So, ano yung priority pag ginamit ang lump sum liquidation? So, under this liquidation, unang gagawin natin ay ibenta yung mga non-cash assets at i-distribute yung any gains or losses among the partners. Siyempre, based on their profit and loss ratio. Kung wala namang profit and loss ratio, gagamit ka ng capital contribution. Next is the payment of liabilities. Siyempre, babayaran mo na minsanan yung mga creditors mo. Next is tatanggalin mo yung mga deficiencies sa mga partners. Kunwari, after mong ibenta yung asset, nagkaroon ngayon ng capital deficiency si partner kasi inabsorb niya yung loss. Kailangan i-eliminate mo yon. Paano mo yun i-eliminate? So first, kapag may loan balance si partner, pwede mong i-offset yon. Next, kapag solvent naman siya, pwede siyang magdagdag ng additional investment na cash to eliminate the deficiency. Or last, kapag naman insolvent siya, ibig sabihin wala na siyang kakayahang mag-additional contribution, yung other partners ang mag-a-absorb dun sa deficiency niya. And last procedure, kapag kung ano man yung maiiwan, kailangan mong bayaran yung mga loans sa partners. At last is, kailangan mong ibalik yung capital account, yung capital contribution nila or yung remaining capital ng mga partners. So, let's try to um, discuss it sa isang problem. Okay. Oops. Wait lang. Hmm, let's discuss this here. Okay, first problem. Ito yung problem. May tatlong partners, CMNB and NM are partners in a public relations firm and share profits and losses in the ratio of 2:1:1 respectively. They decided to liquidate their business on December 30, 2017. The following is the condensed statement of financial position prepared prior to liquidation. So, ito yung financial position nila. So, may asset na 200,000 and non-cash asset na 3.4. So, total asset is 3.6. And meron siyang liabilities na 1.2 at meron utang kay NB, si partnership na 50,000, kay NM na 80,000. And this are the liabilities of the capital of the three partners. So, 950, 600, and 800. So, i-maintain natin tong problem na to para nakikita natin. Yan. Okay, so let's try to answer the problem. Okay, dito tayo sa kabilang window. Okay, case 1. Assume that the non-cash assets are sold at 2.5. So, makikita mo dito, 3.4 yung asset niya. Ibebenta daw siya at 2.5 with a resulting loss on realization of 900,000 which was distributed in the ratio of 4:4:2. The capital balance of each partner was sufficient to fully absorb the share in the loss. The payment of cash to partnership creditors and the final distribution of the remaining cash to the partners presented no problem. So, ano ang magiging entry natin? First entry is yung sale of non-cash asset. So, syempre, sabi dito sa problem, binenta niya yung non-cash assets at 2.5. So, the entry is a debit to cash, 2,500,000 kasi makakatanggap ka ng 2.5 at i-credit mo yung non-cash assets na 3.4. Makikita mo siya dito sa financial position. So, dahil mas malaki yung value ng non-cash asset kaysa sa cash, nagkaroon siya ngayon ng loss na 900,000 pesos. So, a debit to loss on realization na 900,000. So, this is the entry of the sale of non-cash assets. So, based dun sa step-by-step natin kanina sa liquidation, after mong ibenta yung non-cash asset, kailangan mo ngayong i-distribute yung gain or loss on realization. So, ide-debit dahil loss nga siya, kailangan mag-zero out yan. Naka-debit siya kanina, i-credit natin siya na 900,000. So, this will be debited din sa mga capital balances ng mga partners based on their ratio na 4:4:2. So, 900,000 times 4/10 para makuha yung 360. 900,000 times 4/10 para makuha din yung 360 ni Nilo. And 900,000 times 2/10 para makuha yung 180 ni Nick Marasigan. So, after selling the non-cash asset, kanina, si partnership, meron siyang 200,000 na cash sa statement of financial position niya. Ngayon, nadagdagan yung cash niya kasi nagbenta ka ng non-cash asset. So, plus 2.5. So, this time, may 2.7 million na si partnership. Sa second step ng liquidation, sa third step niya, so after mo magbayad ng non-cash asset, after mong mag-distribute ng gain or loss, kailangan mo ngayon magbayad na ng liabilities. At dahil lump sum ito, buong liabilities din yung babayaran mo. So, dito, based sa statement of financial position niya, 1.2 ang liabilities. So, paano ang entry ng liabilities? Debit to liabilities, 1.2. 1.2 dapat to. And credit to cash na 1.2. So, nagbayad ka na ng utang. Ngayon, after mo bayaran yung utang, kailangan mo na ngayon i-distribute yung remaining cash sa mga partners. So, after mong i-distribute, eto yung mga utang sa partners. Merong loan kay Nilo Burgos na 50,000 at kay Nick Marasigan na 80,000. So, i-debit mo muna yon para mabayaran sila. So, debit priority mong bayaran sila. 50,000 at 80,000. Yung remaining na cash ay i-distribute mo din sa mga partners kay Christopher Malaya, kay Nilo Burgos at Nick Marasigan based dun sa available na capital nila. For example, si Christopher Malaya dito ay 950,000 ang kanyang capital dito. Ngayon, nag-absorb siya ng loss na 360. So, babawasan na ngayon yung capital niya ng 360. At ang remaining na lang na capital niya ay 590,000 pesos. Ganon din kay Nilo Burgos. 600 kanina. Ngayon, nag-debit ka ng 360. So, may naiwan na lang na 240,000. Same kay Nick Marasigan. 800. Nag-debit ka ng 180, so meron ka na lang 620,000 na ide-debit. So, yan yung entries to record yung liquidation ng partnership. So, una, binenta mo yung non-cash asset, dinistribute mo yung gain or loss niya, nagbayad ka ng liability, binayaran mo yung mga utang mo sa mga partners at binalik mo yung mga capital nila based dun sa value ng capital nila after ng entry number 1. Yan. So, meron tayong ganitong presentation. Ganito yung itsura ng loss on realization absorbed by partners' capital balance. Okay, lakihan natin. So, dito, makikita mo, nakalatag dito yung nasa statement of financial position din. So, si cash, 200, non-cash asset, 3.4, liabilities is 1.120, yan. Burgos loan, 80, yan. So, una, dinistribute natin yung asset. Binawasan natin yung non-cash asset ng 3.4 para mag-zero out. Yung cash, dinagdag natin. At the same time, dinistribute natin dito yung loss. So, 360, 360, and 180. So, ito na ngayon yung magiging balance niya. Si cash, magiging 2.7. Si liabilities, magiging 1.120. Ayan. After ibenta, nagbayad tayo ng liabilities. So, 1.120. Mababawasan si liabilities, mababawasan din si cash. At the same time, walang effect dito. At after that, kailangan natin bayaran na ngayon yung loan kay Burgos. Yan, 50 at kay Marasigan na 80. And kailangan din natin i-zero out itong mga capital balances ng mga um, partners. So, yan yung um, discussion ng simple na distribution or liquidation ng isang partnership. So, reminder lang na kailangan na pakisunod itong procedures na to para hindi kayo mahirapan dito sa entries niya. So, tandaan nyo lang to. Magbebenta ka muna ng asset, i-distribute mo yung mga gain or loss, magbabayad ka ng liabilities. This is 1.120 pala to. So, kasi this should be 1.120. Nag-typo lang siya. And after that, kailangan mong ma-zero out yung mga utang at saka capital contributions ng mga partners. So, ito yung guide ninyo sa loss and realization. So, this is the first case lang ng liquidation. Other cases will be discussed sa susunod.